Let's talk about collapsing time. Collapsing time, as far as in your business, you have some intentions, some goals, some monetary goals that you want to get to. And then how do you collapse time and allow yourself to manifest that in a much quicker time, right? So let me just explain first what collapsing time means in the AlignedSoul world. Collapsing time means doing something that you normally take you, let's say, a longer period of time. You're doing it in a much quicker time frame. We all know that time is a construct. We all know that time is something that is malleable. And when you understand this and understand that there are some things that you can do to expedite you repeating something and doing something on repeat, and you get to do it faster and faster, it is going to blow your mind how quickly you can manifest things. It starts off, one of the principles that is necessary for you to do this is the principle understanding that time is a construct and it doesn't matter. And the more you can be present with what is and what you've already done, the easier it is going to be for you to quantum leap and move faster and jump these different milestones and have things unfold into your life. Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples. But first, let me explain the quantum. I love to call it the quantum soup. I love to call it something that we're playing in where all possibilities exist. So if you were to imagine having like this infinite reality where every possibility that could ever happen in the entire world is available for you in this reality, in this dimension. That's the quantum soup. The way you align with all of the possibilities is one, by deciding, making choices, movements, and two, by aligning your energy to match the person, the you who makes certain decisions and who experiences this particular thing in life. That means that your energetic vibration, your thoughts, your beliefs, feelings, emotions, intentions, decisions, and your actions align with someone who experiences whatever outcome you're desiring. As you get clear on that outcome, this is what you get to do to collapse time and allow yourself to manifest things with super ease. Okay. So I'll give you an example of collapsing time. Let's say you have in your life made, I don't know, $50,000 in a year. Now you're ready. You desire to make $50,000 in a month, right? So you did it in 12 months. Now you want to do it in a month. What would you do for that? The first thing, and I love to make things practical and easy, the first thing that I suggest that you do when you are looking to collapse time is to look at your goal, the thing that you're doing, and look for a situation in your life where you've already accomplished it, not in a time frame, but just you've accomplished something similar. So, for example, the $50,000 year. If you're saying, I want a $50,000 month, I want a $50,000 month, the first thing I would have you do if we were working together is to say, where in your life have you made $50,000 total? And you're like, okay, last year, or, I've made 50,000 in a year when I was in corporate or whatever. And now you have your own business. I would say, okay, so you're aligned. You know what it feels like to receive $50,000. Doesn't matter how long, it doesn't matter because time's a construct. It gets to, momentum gets to build. So what you get to do is come back to the remembering of, I've already done it before, it gets to happen quicker. I've already done it before, it gets to happen quicker. What would it take for it to go in half the time? What would it take to go in a quarter of the time? What would it take to just happen in my life so much more quickly? And that's how you can just keep moving time and start to get these milestones and the different things that you desire and the different goals quicker and quicker and quicker. Let me give you a non-monetary example. If we think about how long it used to take, I believe it was like people were like, no one can run a mile in less than, I don't know, 4 minutes or something like that. And they were like, it's impossible. The body can't do it. Right. And it wasn't until the person who did it broke the record for running a mile in less than, I think it was 4 minutes. Then what? Everybody else saw that they could do it. And then they said, okay, so I can do it too. And so now you have people running very fast miles because they saw that someone else was able to do it and it gave them the ability to do it. So more people, like it's not even a question of whether or not that's possible. It's the same for when you're looking at milestones and you see other people in your industry or you see people in your, like, if, let's say if you're a real estate agent and you're seeing people breaking records, you're like, okay, that is all examples of the fact that I get to do it. That's the way you get to look at it. Anyone that's done something is just showing you evidence that you get to do that same thing. So if you're definitely, what makes it even more potent is when you've done something similar to that in your life, not about the time frame, but if we're talking about the actual goal, then you can say, well, I've done it, I can do it faster. It gets to happen even quicker. So you see, your mindset is very different. It's more of, I've done this before, I know I can do this again. Okay. So I will give you an example of $1 million. So if I look at my career, my corporate career, including the business that I have right now, the business that I have right now, it's over a $500,000 cash has come through. Then if I start adding my multi six figure and a couple of, years of that to what I've done in my own business, I've already bought in millions over my career. So it's not something odd. It's not something weird. It's not something like, oh my God, I've never had $1 million. I've never created $1 million in my life. No, I've done it and I've done it over and over again. So the fact that I've done it over and over again, I can now tell my brain and subconscious that it's something we've already done. Now we just get to do it faster. Now it gets to happen a lot quicker. Now it gets to happen through my business. Now it gets to be something that we do a different way. That's how you're going to collapse time when you take whatever you desire off a pedestal. Because you'll find that if you have like a $10,000, intention, or if you have $1 million intention, a lot of times we take those goals and we put it on pedestals and it feels so far away and it feels so far away from us. But not until you can start to show yourself, well, I've done it before. It's just, it took, it wasn't a year, it was maybe 2 years or it was 3 years. Okay, so I've done it before in 3 years. What would it take to do it in a third of the time? How much easier could it be? Right? It's not, you take it off the pedestal and make it something that you're like, okay, of course I can do it. This is how you collapse time. This is how you start to do things in your life so much more quickly than, right, than you thought it would be. So much more quickly than you thought it would take. So, what are you desiring in your life? What would you like to create? What would you like to experience in your life? Where is a time where you've experienced that before? So, if we're talking, a lot of you are entrepreneurs, you're looking for sustainable income, you're looking for ways to create income a lot faster in your life. You're looking for, legacy changing income that's going to change generations to flow through you and your business. Okay. All right. Give it an amount. What would you like? So for me, I know that I'm creating a $10 million business, right? And I know that I'm going to do $1 million or more this year in my business. So I know that that's possible. And what I get to do is remind myself, like I said, it's already been a $500,000 I've done, right? And then when I can think about what I've done in my corporate career outside of my business, I've made over $1 million. I've made a couple $1 million. Like I've made $1 million a couple times in my career. And so I'm like, okay, that's not hard. It's something that I've done before. What would it take for me to do it faster? And so what I would do energetically is tap into one, we know we're going to do the PEV method, right? My personal energetic vibration method. That's where we look at the thoughts, the beliefs, the feelings, emotions, intentions, decisions, and actions of the $10 million me. And then I start to move that way, decide that way, show up that way, do things that way in alignment with someone who already is making $10 million in their business annually. So I'm doing that, right? Energetically, I'm showing up to the world as a $10 million woman. So what else do I do? I get to show my brain and my subconscious that $1 million is nothing. We've already done it before. This is gets to be easy. How much faster do we get to do it? Ooh, and you get to play games. Universe, God, source. Wow, how do you delight and surprise me? How much faster can we do this today? How much more fun do we get to have today in this moment in time? Well, how much more quickly does this get to unfold? Show me the way. What else should I launch? What else does it get to be? This is how you collapse time. Removing it from the pedestal, showing yourself that you've already done it. If you've never done it in any possible way in your life, looking at someone else who has done it and saying, wow, if they've done it, they're showing me that I can. And I'm watching it and seeing it because I'm in alignment with receiving it. And then the third way, which is the fun way that I was showing all of the Duchesses in the Be Collective, I showed them that what they get to do, right? If they can look at their universe, blow my mind, the most expansive goal and desire that they have, and just decide to be that person right now, decide to show up like that person every single day. If they just do that over and over and over again, guess what? Then they have to achieve all of the previous goals, all of the goals that are right before these goals. I'll give you an example. So, my universe blow my mind goal, there's 3 sets of goals. There's your of course, there's the stretch, and then there's the universe blow my mind intention and goal. My universe blow my mind intention and goal is $10 million brand. The of course that I'm like, I know I can do is 2.5 million. The stretch is 5 million. So on the way to creating a $10 million brand, right? What has to happen first? 2.5. What has to happen next? At least 5, right? And then that's on the way to 10 million. But if I'm walking the world and being the woman who has a $10 million brand, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what's unfolding, then I am collapsing time by being that person because of the quantum soup. Remember, I said, whatever you're choosing, if you be the person who has whatever you have, what happens? All situations, circumstances have to match that. It has to. It is law. So, another way to collapse time is to take a larger goal, something else that's way bigger than what your intention and your goal is, your main goal, and start collapsing time to say, I'm going to be the bigger goal. I'm going to do the things of the bigger goal. I'm going to show up in the world as that larger goal because the initial goal that you had has to happen. And it has to happen because you're on the way to the bigger one. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Hello, Allison. We are almost wrapping up. I'm about to go into the Creatrix Challenge with my big announcement, but this is the way you quantum leap. And you guys can play this again. I'm going to put this on the podcast because there's so many different ways that you can do it. But it really starts from one, taking that goal, whatever you have, off of the pedestal, no longer feeling like it's so far away. I have a client and she was placing 6-figure year on the pedestal. And so what we did was we calculated what she created in her business thus far. Once we calculated what she had done in her business thus far, I was like, girl, you are already a 6-figure business owner because you've created 6 figures in cash through your brand. And so let's just start looking at, I've already made that. Now I get to make it a lot quicker. Now it gets to come through quicker. You see, you're picking up what I'm putting down. So how do you just show yourself the ways that you've already done it and then just say, okay, now it gets to happen quicker? Or you see examples of people who are already doing it and say, wow, they're the example. And now I get to know that that happens for me. And then finally, you get to say, okay, this is my big, big, big intention. That's, double, triple, quadruple side of the, of course, goal. How do I just be this person and allow all of the situations and circumstances match that and celebrate all of the iterations along the way?